Sunday with the Speedworks Motorsport New Zealand Championship. Brownie and Rusty and Caleb with all the action as we wait for the safety car to get off the circuit. Lights are out. They'll be side by side, and it's all about Gene Rollinson rolling around the outside and Lachlan Fitzgerald-Symes on pole. Set to go racing. And here we go. Got the green light. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 or 4 wide as they span out. And then down towards the bus stop. And straight away it's Gene Rollinson who's quick into that bus stop and rips into the lead around the southern loop for the first time. Good clean start with the $15 million worth of machinery out there. You don't want to have too many smashes and crashes in this sort of class, do you?
No, definitely. And obviously Gene was fast on the lights, and he's put himself in the best position he can. That's what he needed to do, was to get out in front, and now he can focus on himself and just try and pull as much of a gap as he can. But I'm sure Lachlan's going to be putting as much pressure as he can to keep him close by.
Notice all the drivers staying away from that oil line, which has been saturated with the sawdust to try and soak up. There they are, the 2 cars side by side, the 2 McLarens. Toddy Borden out of rallying, fantastic rally career here in New Zealand, and also with the Millen guys in Australia, in America I should say, and Nigel Cromie, famous for jet boating, and now switching to McLaren Racing and part of the Rodin Cars Super GT, so really getting his chance to get that need for speed and get out there and mix it with these Porsches and the Aston Martins and the Ginettas. So, bit of weaving, the safety cars back out on the circuit again.
So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but obviously we've...
A bit of a false start. So we think there's a car that's gone off in the loop. And as we say, sometimes you go down by the trees, you can't see all the action. And hopefully that car's got going again. So here's the car. It's the Ginetta 107. So Alan Sargent, the GT4 Ginetta. So he's had a moment.
So he'll be gutted that he's gone off, but he's lucky that he's kept it clean. The car still looks all right, so it'll be awesome. Hopefully he'll be able to attach himself back to the back of the train of the cars and then carry on racing. So he's obviously done a good job to keep it out of the wall and not do any damage there.
It's always a funny sight when you're going racing and you see a car suddenly weaving and warming up the tyres. And as they say, you know, safety cars breed safety cars. Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of breeding going on this morning. We can't get rid of the thing.
Yeah, I know.
So another false start. So hopefully they'll line up again. Luckily, it's a 30-minute race. And we're already 2 minutes 45 into this race. And that pit lane window will be opening after 10 minutes. Then you've got 10 minutes to make your compulsory pit stop. Remember, it's a BOP, balance of performance pit stop. The faster you go, the longer you'll be held in the pits to make it even up. And hopefully we'll get that exciting sprint finish. But it's very interesting. They all stayed away from that oil line that unfortunately blew the motor for Ronan Murphy in the Toyota 86 Championship. They'll let that settle down. And then hopefully after the next lap, we can reboot and restart. Good to see the crowd coming in, enjoying the action here at Highlands Motorsport Park, a fantastic tourist destination. And it seems funny saying being a tourist destination because we've been in the world of lockdown and shutdown for so long. It's great that people are able to come out and have some fun again, isn't it? Just to go racing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to be able to see the amount of crowd that have turned up for some more motorsport. Obviously, all us drivers and motorsport fanatics have missed it for a while now, but it's awesome to be back. Highlands Motorsport Park have done an amazing event, Speedworks as well. So it's cool to see this amount of people out here enjoying the sun and enjoying some fast cars.
31.5 degrees. So we've hit the big 30. No surprise on a sensational hot sunny Sunday here in the beautiful fruit bowl of the South Island.
You know, it's definitely hot out there, so make sure you slip, slop and slap because you don't want to be sitting out in the sun all sunburnt, roasting away. So
we're very lucky to be in the aircon here in the Pit Stop Cafe. Don't forget, lots to eat and drink, lots of places to enjoy the action. So make the most of it because we're about to go racing again. And look at that. Gene Rollinson really blocking them up. He's going to control the start. Lachlan Fitzgerald Symes. Paul Kelly. Paul just wants a bit of distance, no doubt. And green flag, back racing in the Rodin Cars Super GT 30-minute race 2. And straight away, Paul Kelly makes a move, gets the slipstream, and whips past Lachlan Fitzgerald Symes. And hopefully we'll get round the big loop this time without any drama, because yesterday afternoon we had a 3-car crash in the Oscar Super Saloons that brought an early finish to that particular race, and then it's just gone bang, bang, bang ever since.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Gene's had another amazing start here. Paul Kelly's nice and close, and so is Lachlan. So already we're seeing these 3 cars battle it out. So I can imagine it's going to be a pretty interesting race from here, as they're all still staying away from the oil line. And obviously that's going to make it a bit harder to pass down there, everybody taking a narrow line. So I think you'll find we'll see a lot of moves being made at the hairpin, because they can't do it there at the...
And we've already seen a lot of cars actually go off at the hairpin too, because you've got a big wide part of the track and then it just tightens up like a dart. As you can see there, it's wide, and so you can go out wide, you can go late and hard, try and duck down the inside, but some cars have actually struggled getting into their braking line before, and other cars we've already seen go off, coming out of the hairpin and straight through into the wall. Up and over the bridge. Look at that great shot as they bounce, get a little bit of air, and then back around the lake, down towards reverse Indy. 4.1 kilometres, 14 turns of actually turn it up, put your foot down, go and have some fun in these beautiful high-end, top-end luxury motor racing cars.
It's awesome to see the field so close and compact. Obviously there's going to be lots of battles, and it's going to be even more interesting with those pit stops. Definitely a lot more compact than it was yesterday. So we've got little battles happening all over around the track.
Big battle out in front. Paul Kelly having a real good look at Gene Rollinson. They had a ding-dong battle yesterday before the race, unfortunately, was called early. And there's one of the McLarens going a bit wide. I think there was Nigel Cromie in the 24 car. And look at this. Now Lachlan Fitzgerald Symes in the 26 Porsche getting right up behind Paul Kelly after they exchange places. Flashing lights are on. And they're still whipping around through the carousel. Coming around Sting.
So it's interesting. I'm not too sure what's happened there, because the last lap, Paul Kelly was actually a fair bit faster than Gene Rollinson. And obviously, Gene's obviously pulled this gap within half a lap. So I'm not sure if he's made a mistake at the southern bend, but it's definitely helped Gene. And now Lachlan's right on his rear wing, putting some pressure on.
There's 24, the battle of the GT4s for the McLarens. Nigel Cromie. Really enjoying his looking forward to like a debut weekend in this particular class, getting out of the jet boats and getting into the McLaren, doing a great job in battling with Todd Borden, who had a brilliant debut with that particular car, backed by the team from Wingers, when he put it and actually won the race. And that was under safety car, ironically, when Steve Harrison had a big off at Hampton Downs and almost went into the weeds, buried the car out there, coming out of the Dale ITM sweeper in the beautiful Aston Martin.
And it's just incredible to see all the top 8 cars are Porsches. So obviously that Porsche car is really working well around here at Highlands Motorsport Park today with that boxer engine. And what's happened down there?
Down where?
Down at the last corner, we've got people standing up, having a look.
Oh, just getting a little bit dusty, a little bit of dust on that track, so you don't want to go too wide, because if you get close to that concrete wall, that could lead to all sorts of drama. Number 148 on your screen at the moment, if you're enjoying the live stream. And one of the Porsches in the field. Big lead for Gene Rollinson. Paul Kelly, speed-wise, well, he did a 139.9 the last lap, and Lachlan Fitzgerald Symes did a 139.8. So they're both on the same sort of lap pace now, and right behind him is Gary Derrick. He's really putting the squeeze on Lachlan Fitzgerald Symes. It's got a little bit wide going up the straight into and up and over the bridge.
Yeah, so these, from 2nd to 7th, all of these 6 cars are just doing exactly the same lap time. So it's going to be a close battle. Gene Rollinson out the front, he's got clear air. His mirrors are starting to clear up, and he's just put his head down and he's setting much faster laps than these guys behind him. So
it's got 9:43 total time so far. So that means with the temperature hitting 32 degrees now, it is hot out there. It's going to be sweat and forget, I tell you that. The lap means that the pit lane window will open, and so these cars can now start to come into the pits. Rusty will keep us up with the action as they make their compulsory pit stop. Here's the first one, number 10, coming in. And don't forget, some of the slower cars will actually just virtually go through pit lane, do a stop and go and carry on. Grant Aitken in the GT4 into the pits. He's the man that loves to go motor racing with the air conditioning on. And
we've got a
smart
car going
decision.
down the front straight there. We've seen a car go off into the dirt there, and it's done a big 360. I think he's kept it out of the wall and he's carried on. No, he's stuck in the sand. So
all right, so a bit of drama there, and we'll try and work out exactly who it is. It's 71.
The GT4 Porsche.
Francis Visiak.
So I wonder what's happened there, because he's actually...
That's the Cayman, Mike Eadie's car.
So he was carrying a lot of speed there, and we'll be interested to see if this pulls out a safety car. And if it does, yep, the safety car's coming out, so I would assume so that everybody will be shooting in the lane here.
So we did 5 laps, did we?
Yep.
We got 5 laps without the safety car. And that's the 3rd race in a row. Let's go down to Greg Russ and see what's happening in pit lane.
So you see a lot of the front runners shooting into the pits. They'll try and get their compulsory pit stop done straight away.
So Rusty, busy pit lane at the moment. So the safety car's back out on the track, and that means all these drivers with the pit lane window open have decided to come in. So all the teams will be holding them. Remember the balance of performance. Some teams have been there longer than other cars. And let's see if we can get some reaction from Greg Rust along pit lane.
So we've got a lot of teams playing with tyre pressures and stuff like that. Obviously track temperatures theoretically will be higher than they are yesterday, so just making a few tweaks. Gene Rollinson there.
Just cooling off in the heat, 32 degrees. So this really has opened up this whole race from a safety car sort of sprint start, back to the pit lane window, and then bang, it's going to be back out there for a let's let them go. Martin Dippy. Just got a few technical problems with the microphone for Greg Rust at the moment. '24 Mark Cromie Group, Nigel Cromie. And there's the car controllers. It's their job to make sure that they hold the cars for their designated time. Gene Rollinson will be keen to get going in that Racer Products. And there's the other ones getting all out, being released. Just virtually the entire field, all pit lane at once.
And this is all really close, and obviously the 148 of Garrick Derrick has got out a lot sooner than Gene and Paul Kelly. So Gene Rollinson, obviously being the faster car, has been stopped for a longer period of time. But Gary Derrick, who's jumped out in front, he has got the pace. There's not much of a pace difference between these front runners, so actually he's in a really, really good position here.
138.9 was Gary Derrick in the 148 Porsche. And that's the same sort of speed they were doing with Gene Rollinson, Fitzgerald Symes, Paul Kelly as well. And then Rob Steele doing a 139. So as you say, he's got that jump on the field thanks to that pit stop. And that's going to open it up for him.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bit of work for Gene to come through the field, but he does have about 3/10 over some of these other guys. So it's going to be interesting. We've got 15 minutes to go, so he's got the time.
More cars coming back into the pits as well, down by Padden Rally Sport. Of course, Hayden Padden based here with his Hyundai EV rally car. looking forward to getting that back out on track, hopefully with Jack's Ridge and also with the World Rally Championship, the WRC, returning to New Zealand this year. So the safety car is still out on track.
So the safety car's waiting, but everybody's shot into the pit, so he's got nobody to queue up.
So now, and all of the time, he's going to reboot, and we'll be able to work out exactly who's doing what. Lachlan Fitzgerald-Symes, he's in the pits. This is the strategy battle. This is where you roll the dice, don't you? And now it's all about just get in, get out, and get back racing again. So 15 minutes gone, elapsed time. And these cars obviously waiting to be released safely to rejoin the race under the safety car. Steve Sullivan there, number 69. Yeah, and of course, while the cars are out on track, they've actually closed that pit lane exit. So that number 69, that was one of the cars that was involved in a big crash at Ruapuna with the son, Brett Sullivan, behind the wheel. He suffered, he suffered a really bad back injury in a sprint car accident, and 6 months later injured himself and injured his neck and suffered some brain damage with the big crash at Ruapuna. So it was a hell of a year for young Brett Sullivan. But Dad, Steve Sullivan, out of Nelson, does a shipping repair company, works up with Craig Booth. Good to see them back racing, repairing fishing boats for Tallies and Sealord. So Dad Steve's behind the wheel of the 69 Porsche.
So just having a look at that, the GT4 Canaan that's gone into the sand there. They had it on the screen before. It looks like there's something happening with the right front wheel, because he did actually go off on the front straight. So I wonder if something's happened there mechanically. We're not too sure, but when we were having a close look there before, it looked like there was something maybe broken on that car. I could be wrong. He could have done it in the kitty litter, but it'll be interesting to see what's happened there, because he was doing really well.
Let's go down to get an update along pit lane with all of the action out on track with the Yarra safety car, and catch up with Greg Rust.
You can see the heat haze on the track, obviously, here today. It's very, very warm, so those drivers, it'll be interesting to see how much tyre temp they're actually trying to get into those tyres. Either they're trying to cool them down or make sure they're still at that nice temperature for when that safety car lights go out, they can get going as hard as they can. So obviously you've got a lot to think about when you're behind the safety car. You've obviously got to get that tyre back up to temperature. You definitely don't want cold tyres for when those safety car lights go out, otherwise it'll be very interesting approaching that bus stop.
So it's still a cat and mouse game at the moment, and the race controlled by the safety cars. Finally, they've got the recovery crews getting the 71 Cayman Porsche. So, Rusty, what's the update, mate?
Clint, it's been pretty busy down here in the pit lane. Now, I've just gone and had a word with Lachlan Fitzgerald-Symes' crew here. They feel like their decision to go out of sync with everybody else, to come into a nice clear pit lane with no traffic, worked in their favour. Now, they did close the pit exit, as you guys rightly pointed out, for a little bit of time, but with the mandatory length of time that he was required to do stationary under the compulsory pit stop rules for his car, it didn't affect him in any way, shape or form. So their play was a bit of clear air rather than the congestion in the pit lane. Now, one thing that did unfold in the crazy first part of those pit stops when the safety car was first deployed, Shane Helms came in the Golden Homes Aston Martin, and one of the Janettas more or less parked right beside him on the apron here. And a few people raised eyebrows in the lane and wondered whether that may have been considered parking the car almost in the transit lane, and whether that would have been a breach of some kind. We understand from officials here in the lane at the moment it is not being viewed in that way, so play on.
Like a Giz.
Yeah.
When he parked them, they couldn't open the door. Good on you, Rusty. Thanks, mate. Very, very busy pit lane. So now all of a sudden it's David Cranner, number 54, who's in the lead in the Prime Speed Sport McLaren 570S GT4. So you've got a couple of McLarens. You've got Steve Scholes, who was on target for the GT4 title yesterday, finishing third behind Connor Adam. But that was, of course, declared a no result, no race, because they didn't do the 75%. So, and Grant Aitken, another one of the legends of Highlands Motorsport Park. He will certainly have the air conditioning pumped up as we hit 32.5 degrees today.
You want an update on that recovered car, or are you going to go racing here?
And hopefully we've got 20 minutes, 10 minutes to go to try and sort it out. So they've had the pit stop. We've had the safety car. Hopefully we can get restarted and released. There is the Porsche 71 of Francis Biziak.
So it'll be interesting to see Gary Derrick in 12th here. Is 4 seconds quicker than the majority of the cars up front. So it's going to be interesting to see those guys, Gary, Paul Kelly, Gene Rollinson, obviously further down the back of the pack, but with that much more pace. It's going to be interesting to see how far they can come up within 10 minutes. It's definitely going to be a hard push for them to be able to get through this traffic.
And of course you've got the GT4 cars in front that are going to be hounded by the GT3s.
Yeah, and some of those GT4 guys, they're actually, through the slower speed stuff, they're actually not much slower than the GT3 cars. So obviously the straight line, the GT3's got a little bit more, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. So here are the safety car lights are out. It'll be interesting what David Cranner does here. Is he going to slow up the field, or is he going to go early? Is he going to go late?
Hopefully 10 minutes to sort it out on track without the safety car. The GT4 is out in front. The local man, Steve Scholes, who lives here at Highlands Motorsport Park, in second spot. As we go racing again with the green flag. Down the line straight into the bus stop. McLarens, Aston Martins, now a whole stack of Janettas, Porsches and all the fast guys trying to work their way through the field, and hopefully we'll get around that southern loop this time without any drama and can complete the race without the GR Yaris safety car again. So here's the Janetta, Steve Scholes, number 58, making the move, going into the S's, slides and glides, and then brings it back round under control. Grant Aitken in his car as well, number 10, in that beautiful Porsche GT4. And so it's David Cranner who's the first one to actually go over that, driving the oil line.
Yeah, so we've got 58 of Steve Scholes and the Janetta actually in the lead at the moment. So he's in a good position here. He can hopefully just put as much of a gap as he can, and by the time these other GT3 Porsches catch up to him, hopefully he's got a big enough gap to seal the deal.
Now all the chance. This is a great shot. A little bit of contact there. You can see how many cars can go as wide as you like, but then it narrows on the exit, coming out of the hairpin, and suddenly you're on the grass. But Steve Scholes, yes, he lives here at Highlands Motorsport Park. He's a member of the GT Club at Highlands, so he's got a great chance to try and sneak a win here.
And Gary Derrick is absolutely gunning through the field. He is making a lot of moves there. So he is racing through, trying to make that opportunity of everybody being bunched up as fast as he can. And he could be in for a good result here.
Super GT a chance. Oh, talk too early. Talk too early. 61's parked it up. In fact, two of them have parked it up. Right in front of the pit stop cafe. We were just looking at the shots on the TV, and two cars have collided right in front of us and in front of all the fans enjoying life in the sunshine and in the shade with this magnificent setting here at Highlands Motorsport Park. Just when we thought we might be able to finish the race, who knows? And there they are. There's a Porsche and the Janetta. 107, I think it's Alan Sargent, and 61 Dave Rogers. And they've parked it up in the kitty litter, so these guys are going to come round, and all of a sudden they'll come into shot. And I think we'll see the GR safety car, the GR Yaris safety car back out there again.
And with 5 minutes to go, that Janetta's, he's got the door open. Maybe if he could get that going, he might be able to get out. He might be able to get 1 or 2 laps, but that Porsche's stuck in the kitty litter quite deep.
Yes, we've got the yellow flags down here. The drivers will come round, and they'll see exactly what's happening.
And it's Steve Scholes in the front.
Yes, so Scholesy yesterday was denied a chance to win the race. It was declared a no result, but this time I think we should be able to get a result. And there's the 2 cars. The Porsche's trying to get going again, but just can't get any grip in the rear. Once again, the GR Yaris safety car is back out there again for Toyota Gazoo Racing New Zealand. Here come the Speedworks Highluxes. Talk about drama, Trev. Talk about trying to get the checkered flag under racing conditions, Trev. So more drama. And hopefully this time, Steve Scholes, one of the local guys here, enjoys life at Highlands Motorsport Park, lives here, races here for the last year, will be able to get a win in the Janetta, and it'll be a GT4 win.
It will be. And we've got Grant Aiken as well, who is in a GT4.
And those 2 guys sling off at each other because they both live here and they both try to be the first one home. So they're going to be having a magnificent time thinking, oh, we're the first winners of a race for the Rodin Cars Super GT. And Chris Nicholas, 997 in a Porsche in the GT3. So he's going to be first in the GT3s. And there's Gary Derrick, who was, of course, doing a 138. The other guys are circulating in 144, 146 and 142. So he was the quickest. Steve Harrison, 78 in the Aston Martin.
So Gary Derrick has done an awesome job there. I mean, he was in 12th, and within 1 lap, he's got up to 4th. So that's an amazing effort by him under the safety car. He has taken every opportunity to his best, and it's paid off.
And that's the beauty of this race format, because by the time you have your pit lane window for 10 minutes and you get back out on track, you never know what's going to happen. And in motor racing, as you would know, Caleb Natoa, you've got to expect the unexpected.
Oh, definitely. Anything can happen in motorsport. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. And today, for Steve Coles and Grant Aiken, it has.
So we'll look forward to getting some reaction from Steve Scholes. He'll be absolutely wrapped. He joined us yesterday doing commentary for the production V8s and the GTs. It was a bit of a Steve Scholes Saturday today, and here he is, the local man, enjoying life in Cromwell. He's going to pick up a win. Because I don't think, with 27 minutes and 3 minutes to go, that with 2 cars, I know the recovery guys are good, we'll be able to get that out of the way and restart for a flying finish. Where's Michael Massey when you need him?
Yeah. If there's 1 lap to go, it's going to be very interesting to see what Gary Derrick does. So he made all those moves, 8 moves in 1 lap.
And if you're a GT4 car,
you'll be hoping it finishes under safety.
You can't. If you're gonna, yeah, exactly. If it goes down to a flying finish, surely you'll be able to do a little bit of, not so much blocking, but certainly a defensive line, wouldn't you? Make it hard for the cars, the faster GT3 cars, to try and get the pass.
Oh, definitely. If I was out at the front in that Janetta and the Porsche and the GT4s, I'd be making my car as wide as I possibly could.
How do you do that?
You just got to be smart. So you just protect the inside line just a little bit, not too much. Otherwise, you sacrifice your run coming out of the corner. But you just have to be wise. Obviously, have a bit of knowledge of the guys behind you, see where they've been making a lot of their moves, and use that to your advantage.
Unfortunately, though, it is that Porsche is buried. Last lap, race has been called. So, congratulations, Steve Scholes from Highlands Motorsport Park. The GT4 Janetta is going to come home for the first win in the Rodin Cars Super GT. And he will take the checkered flag. Grant Aiken laughed about racing with the aircon on. He'll have the aircon on today. Will come home for second. So 2 of the living legends around here at Cromwell. First and second, followed by Chris Nicholas, the first of the Porsches, and the GT3s coming home in third. Then Gary Derrick, Steve Harrison in the Aston Martin, Adam Julian, Paul Kelly, Todd Borden, and then it's Ben Byers rounding out the top 10. So, more drama. Just confirming that result then in the Rodin Cars Super GT. Steve Scholes in the Janetta GT4, the G55, gets the first win in the series. Grant Aiken comes home second in GT4 for the Porsche, and Chris Nicholas first in GT3 rounds out the podium. Then it's Derek, Harrison, Julian, Kelly, Borden, Byers and Dippy. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Porsches, 2 Ginettas and an Aston Martin and a McLaren. So plenty of variety there in the top 10 for what this series is all about.
Definitely, and that BOP in the pit lane obviously plays a massive game, and